to YouTube, and that connection between Zoom and YouTube is an API, an application program interface, where Zoom allows third parties, including YouTube, to connect, and I have that. Okay, so what I want to go over today is two parts. One part is to get us more in depth on artificial intelligence, what we mean by generative AI versus agentic AI. And then I want to make sure that everybody understands the next part of our assignments that is due on Monday. Okay, so we'll have that available to us and we'll proceed. Okay, so let me share my screen. And Hunter, what do you see on my screen?
Oh, the YouTube live stream?
Okay, the YouTube live feed. And Hunter, we see you in the first row with everyone else. So I know that that is working and that's going live. These are areas in which you can also think about incorporating into your projects where you'll be possibly advising. For instance, Aiden, you were talking about wealth managers. It's wealth managers. They could be doing like a weekly or a bi-weekly webinar to their clients, where they could have their special clients on Zoom and even say we're going to live stream it to their channel at the same time. And you could have somebody in the group then giving them an idea that somebody could moderate their Zoom and allow the audience in Zoom to possibly unmic themselves, and those on Zoom, there could be someone else there moderating in real time through text. The advantage of the Zoom is that it could be anonymous, or you can make the in YouTube, or you can make the YouTube unlisted and then just share the link depending on what you wanted to do. So you give an option. One time it could be generic for educational purposes. You could make it public. For special clients, you could make it unlisted and just share the link with them. So let's go to what's due and let's make sure that everybody understands what's due here. There were some issues last time. On Monday, you should have finished up the cloud computing. And we had also accepted everyone's final project. If there's any issues on your proposals, please text Isa. And Isa, if there's something that I need to address, you can ask that group or a couple people in the group to stay after that we can deal with that. Is that okay? Perfect, Isa. Now let's go to the other part. Let me just move this a bit so I can be here, that it's not blocking my view. So let me just move this. Okay, so I have here an assignment due this Monday. This is going to be that you need the final project, part 2. What I want you to make sure you do is assign one person to sign up for the Wix, and then you will do the assignment of part 2. Artificial intelligence, you will read in the Wiley text do the assignments on Wiley Text, and then have additional readings here on AI, machine learning, data mining, deep learning. There's a lot of concepts, many of it you know as generative AI when you think about ChatGPT, but it's much more to that. And we'll also be talking about agents as well. So let's go to the final project part 2. So I'm going to go to the audit assignment of project 2, and you'll see under the final project, let me go to the top here, of part 2. Let me put my edit mode off so I'm able to see everything that you have. So, Hunter, you see this final project upgrade,
Yeah, I
Wix,
see it.
and collaborate. You have 2 parts. This is the part that's important. I put it here of the discount code. I want each group to use this discount code so it will be free. If you see when one person has to put in their credit card information, but you should put in the code here and make sure it is 0. We'll go over that today to make sure. And what I'd like to do by the end of even this class, talk to each of you can text your group and decide who is going to be the initiator to Wix. And when you think about this upgrade right here that we talked about before, is you want to be competent in here and make sure you get started. You want to create the site. And once you start creating the site, you want to make sure that you upgrade to the business plan. And in this case, once it's upgraded, you want to invite collaborators. So you want to look for invite collaborative features. And then you want to invite your group members via your email. Make them your website managers. And once the site is created, you can start editing and customizing text and images. You can give each member of your group, make sure each member of your group can edit. You need to have for Monday your mission statement. You want to have a team page with everybody's professional pictures and an AI generated logo. You want to have a contact page, and you want to publish the site. Once your work is done, you want to make sure you want to click the publish button, and then you want to get that URL and put it into your audit area under your project. Later on, this part you want to discuss social media accounts. You want to assign that to 1 or 2 people in your group to create. You can use X, you can use Instagram, you can use TikTok, LinkedIn. You have to have at least 3 of these, and every week you need to post for a number of those, and you can even use AI. I want you to use AI to help you in creating nice posts. And then you want to think about it of continue discovering applicable AI apps that will help you, and place the link in the audit area. You don't have to have VAPI, but you'll have a URL with Wix in it right here. So this is where you will be publishing it. And then here is an example of the analytics and inviting. Here's a part here of inviting, and you can see inviting site collaborators. You can do up to 10 collaborators, but of course, you we'll only do 3 or 4 collaborators. Okay. Question about that. So
Question if it was the business plan or the core plan?
you want to do a business plan. Everybody wants to do the business plan. So in this case, Hunter, who's the person in your group that's going to be, have you guys done this already? Or not yet, your group?
Not yet. We're just trying to figure out what our domain name is gonna be
Oh,
in the
don't worry about the domain name right now. You can think about some domain name that would be like, what is yours in Hunter? What area?
marketing.
It's marketing. So you could even put, when you're putting in your beginning one, you can say marketing, and then we'll do the following week. We'll be thinking about it and we'll get a really good domain name, the one that's going to be used without Wix in it. You
So we pick
understand?
a domain name right now that can change next week.
Yes.
Got it.
You don't want to upgrade to, you don't want to do your domain name because we want to think about it carefully. Because once we have the domain name, don't you think about it, Hunter? Domain name is essential. Because later on, guess what, Hunter? We can even sell it. Because you'll have that domain name for a year. Your group could even sell this and even sell your whole website and all your services. You could even, you have an opportunity to sell, but then to use. And then also it'll really help when we think about branding. But let's do this, Hunter. If you could be so, copy the URL, not the URL, the code, just to your clipboard. Do you see that? And let me just show what you need to do, and then you don't even have to fill out your I don't want to see all your credit card information, right? But can you be so kind and share your screen, Hunter, and or someone else? Do we have another volunteer besides Hunter? And we'll show how you put in the code. Make sure everybody understands that code. So
Share here.
yeah, so Hunter, why don't you do that? Okay, so in this case, have you even started or no? Welcome back, Hunter. So you've done something where you've gone to the business plan already? Did you put
Yeah,
in
I
the
already
code
have.
already?
Well,
Okay,
I think I had it after the Zoom we had to do, or like the live stream video we had to watch.
okay, so you have it already.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you already invited your collaborators?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so basically, you see the search button right there where there's like a search? Yeah, search, invite collaborators. Then we have this invite.
Roles and permissions, maybe?
Yeah, roles and permission. Perfect. And so basically you're all invite collaborators. You see that on the top?
Yeah, I do see that.
And then you put everybody's email. And
Perfect.
then make them, in this case, their role is you can make them, can gain access, admin access. And in this case, you can put those in. And then you can see here on billing roles, point of sales, payment, right, back office, what other kind of point of sales we want to give them to be the most, right, in roles and positions that we're wanting to be. The edit can contact but cannot edit. No, we want to meet CMS can modify structures but can edit your site. Billing, marketing can manage, go down. Point of sales, we want them to be. Is there anyone else? We want to create, go all the way up to the top. Invite, in this case, select roles, help choose. In this case, I guess you can just invite them and then later on and search for roles of web administrator. In this case, searching roles here, we want has access to the site, including billing, domain, inviting, can't delete or transfer file, that can access it for me, but we want them to edit the site. So we want them to be more in this case. Put web manager there under search roles. You see there where it says search roles under
Yeah.
select roles.
Web mailing.
Yeah, let's see. No matching, show all.
I think I can create a custom role. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
custom, let's see, custom role. And you want to give them, you want to make them editors, right?
Mhm.
You want to make them, right? Select all. Yeah. Anything else? Say site, view, manage, you wanted all of them, all of them. I think even the first one was good because I think the first one was good. Yeah. Site, select all. Right. CMS, select all. Billing, you don't want them to do, right? Point of sales, we're not going to have it, but anyways. Okay. Select all. Yeah, select all. Okay. Should be able, I think in analytics, select all. Payments and finance. Manage, you're not going to have any payments, but anyways, you don't have to worry. Logo maker you want. Right.
just got a lot of stuff here, teacher.
Yes, what? Save it all.
Save it all.
Yeah. At the end, save all. And then send an email to everybody.
Mhm.
And Catherine, did your group somebody start in your group?
This is my group. Hunter's in my group.
Okay, good. And Ava, did somebody start in your group too?
Are you talking to me, Ava?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Ava
Oh,
Moran.
yes.
You started already?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing that you need to do, if there's a promo code, if there's a sale, you have to remove the sale and put in our code. And then this is where you invite site collaborators and you put everybody's email in. And then you can select and you can do their custom roles. Right. That they can do. And in this case, then they can't edit, or you can make them another admin. Okay.
How do I because then we need to like paste the link on our audit assignment.
What?
Weren't we supposed to like paste the link on our audit assignment?
Somehow I don't understand.
Oh, I think it was the group zero example had like a link pasted on their audit assignment, like for the Wix website, I'm pretty sure I saw.
You mean the link, right? That was on group zero. That was when they upgraded to, you mean the link where they upgraded to their final site. But you'll then publish whatever you do for the first round, you'll publish it and it'll have Wix in the URL and you'll publish that.
Got it.
Okay. So and you can start with having it do the AI version. You tell it what you want, a marketing for small businesses. It'll do like a first round, and then you can go ahead and edit it and improve upon it. And then you can even go through other AI tools to help you refine it. And then you need to put in a team page and others where you have everybody's picture, and you'll try for almost like first step. And every week you'll be improving it. Questions? And you can put all of them, maybe on everybody in your group. You don't have to redo it all the time.
Oh, I see.
Right? Why waste your time?
All right.
Okay, you can stop sharing it. That's okay. You don't need to see it. Does that help, Hunter?
Yeah, that was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So each group then, we need to make sure you have to have one person from each group then sign up and then invite your collaborators, give them the role, the most that they can edit and do everything to your site. And then you can create a template, or you can have AI do the first draft for you. Questions? And Luke Sebastian, who in your group has has signed up, or have you made the assignment?
I created the link, but did you say that we were not supposed to make the domain name yet? Because that's what I
Right.
heard.
Did you make one already?
Yeah. Well, because when I first went to the site, that's like what it took me to initially. So I thought that was like what we're supposed to do to sign
Oh,
up.
okay. And what did you give your name?
Our
Is it with
company's supposed to
Wix,
be
or it's you've upgraded to get a domain name?
like I used the code and upgraded, and then like our company's supposed to be Mind Mesh AI. So like that was taken, but so it's
Yeah.
like Minds Mesh. I don't know.
Okay, but when you click on your link, I tried to click on your link and it didn't work. Did you
Yeah,
click on your link?
it does the same for me. It just says like for me it says like go to Wix, which is expected, right? Because we haven't set up anything, just the collaborators, right?
But it should, did you publish it? Did you publish anything?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you have to publish it in order for that link to work.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so Luke, make sure you published something. And
Okay,
then
great.
have you made collaborators yet?
Yeah, I just added them.
Okay, so add those collaborators and then you'll do the first round. And then make sure you click publish. So then that way, when we click, we can see it for Monday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You were one of the first. If you don't, you can bypass that stage of creating the domain name so you can figure out what works. If you want to do a domain name, the only problem is with your account, Luke, and you say, oh, I got a better one. Somebody else in your group is going to have to redo it.
Yep.
You understand? And then create a domain name. They won't let you, with your own credentials, create a number of free domain names.
Okay.
Okay, and this may be good enough if we do it and we publish it.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions that's not clear? Because I want to let everyone know. Let Isa know if you're having problems doing that now. Isa, you can check with the groups then. And maybe we can make a star or something. What do you think, Isa? For each group that we can basically highlight who actually is the owner. What do you think? What should we do? Should we put maybe next to their name in their group owner or something like that?
In the folder, yeah, maybe we should put
Yeah.
like owner like bold next to it.
Next, when we have the list of everybody in the why don't you do that? Share. Let me just share. You understand? Because then you could even check out with each one. Maybe we can do that now. Let me share my screen. So if I go to my audit area and I go to assignment groups, right? So at this point, for instance, Aiden, you see on group 1, you're the owner, right, Aiden? So maybe right next to after your number, you can just put -owner. So when we look at the group, we can see who is the owner of Wix. I ended up getting this, which I didn't want. Do you understand, Isa?
Yes. So like I guess I can go in and change it.
Yeah, no, just like here, Aiden has owner.
Yeah. Perfect.
And you know what, Aiden, maybe see if you can make it bold. It's okay with owner here. And then Luke, were you the owner in terms of, were you the one that registered, Luke?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so put next to it, just like Aiden did, put right next to it, you can put in all caps, just like Aiden did for group 1, put then owner. So we can always go
perfect.
back, and then later on, Luke, you say, hey, we found a really better domain name, or we decided, this week we want to do something different. You could then say, Alejandro or Andrew or Ian, they're going to take over and do it, and then you can take yours out.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this way, everybody, do you see that, Isa?
Yeah, I like that better. It's really
Yeah, you know
clear.
what I'm saying? So we, at least we know, with owner, we know what that means, you know what I mean? Owner of that Wix account. So then you can basically, you can even go into individuals. So let's do that now with everybody's group. We need to make sure of who is deciding to do that, right? That you can reach out. So for instance, in this case, Vivian, Sawyer, Maggie, and Lev, did you guys decide who is going to fill that form out, or have you done that?
I was actually just about to ask
Okay,
about a question about like the membership for the signing up.
yeah, what do you mean? What's the question?
So like when I go to check out and like put my credit card information, it says that there's already like a coupon through the website that allows you to save 50%. But then
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
want to remove that. You want to remove that. You want to remove where it says remove, you want to remove the discount. And then you want to put in the code that we gave you. Because we don't want a 50% discount, Vivian. We want 0. We want 100% discount. You remember? I'm frugal. I don't want to, Vivian, I don't want you to pay an extra penny. So see if it works. I don't want you to share your screen if your any credit card, any personal information is there. Do not submit with that, with any money. It should go to 0. Did you do that, Vivian?
I got rid of the other promo code and I just copied and pasted the one that was posted on Blackboard.
Right.
But for some reason for me it just says the promo code is not valid for the billing cycle you chose.
You have
can
to do
submit your
yearly. Did you choose yearly?
Yeah.
Okay, try again. Start all over again. Don't do anything. And then we'll get back to you. Erase everything and just go back to Wix as if the first time around. And start it. Make sure you do yearly. And we'll spend some time with you if you have problems at the end of the class. It may be kind of like in a loop in Cache. You know what I mean? Go to another browser or something and try filling it out, doing the basically you want the plan and you want, or did you do the business plan?
Yeah, business plan, is that correct?
Yes. So when you go to the Wix, right, and if I go to the pricing, I want to do this one, the business plan. And when I sign up, you see where it says 50% off, that's you want to remove that promo code of 50%. You want to make sure you say yearly and you want to remove this 50%. So I should see in this one, I should see the coupon code, right? And I want to do yearly. And in this case, I want to make sure that I do yearly. And then I want to, where it says enter promo field, delete the promo field, and then enter the code that we gave you. You'll need to remove the code and enter it. And you have to remove to opt out of sale and then select enter promo code. That's a glitch in the Wix. And if you're still having issues, just stay after with me. And you may even want Vivian to start on another browser so it doesn't have anything in cache. Any other issues that people are having? So we want to make sure, Isa, you might want to even get access, because we want to make sure that everybody gets that today, because you don't want them to be stuck and then they can't proceed for Monday's assignment. And Cameron, what did your group have? Who registered for it?
We haven't started yet, but I'm pretty sure.
So Cameron, if you can get maybe yourself or somebody else, try. I want everybody to sign in before the end of each group. We'll end up, maybe we'll do some breakout rooms at the end to make sure that every group has been done, Cameron, because we don't want to get stuck in the middle. So if you can take that on, or someone else can take that on, Cameron, or text someone to take that on. Anything else, Isa, that I need to know about?
No, everything else is good.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're ready to go? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And Vivian, if you can be so kind and report back to Isa of what are any of the issues you have, I appreciate it. Okay. So let's do this. We talked about this. Everybody understand the goal is to upgrade it, and then you're going to research, and then you're going to launch your live website. Is the idea that you need to publish it, and then you have to copy your URL and put it into your folder so we can look at it for Monday before class. And Isa will also be looking at it before class to check out what everyone has done. Okay? And then I talked about it before, the Wiley Reading and Adaptive. And basically, we talked about cloud computing, right? And Hunter, you remember on cloud computing, what would you say is a way in which you can define what cloud computing is? Hunter.
I don't really remember, but I remember us going over like the AWS thing with Amazon.
Right. So if I looked about cloud computing, right, and I thought about the basics of cloud computing, we talked about what is unique there. And what it is this is the idea of cloud computing. The idea is cloud computing, Hunter, over the internet or local on your computer?
On your computer?
Cloud computing. So if I think about it, Aiden, what do you think, Aiden, the cloud computing is? Is it local or is it over the internet? Aiden, do you hear me? So what did you think? Anything we use, basically, what do you think, Aiden?
It'd be over the internet.
It'd be over the internet. So in this case, if I think about it, we are going to define cloud computing is that it's going to deliver some content. And think about it, Hunter. What do you know? You know, basically Blackboard, you know, we're using Zoom, we're using YouTube, we were using email. What do you think that is? Is that local or is that over the internet?
Oh, the internet?
Over the internet. So all these applications that we've used, almost everything we used in the class is basically over the cloud, right? And cloud computing is the idea, Hunter, is it's for those services are for companies, organizations, enterprises to deliver services for multiple customers to share basically a number of computing resources. So if you think about, let me just go over that in a bit here. So one of the things that I want to make, this is from the chapter in the book, the PowerPoints. When I think about IT, I'm thinking about IT, which is information technology components. It's also talking about IT infrastructure. IT infrastructure composes a number of components. One of them is hardware, right? And we talked about hardware. In our idea, we talked about hardware. I have hardware. I have my laptop. Hunter, you have yours. If we were going to go into business together, right? I say we need more RAM. Remember that? We need more hard drives. We need more primary storage. We need more secondary storage. All of that hardware is what they call IT infrastructure. Remember when we went to the lab, they had all those computers there? That's hardware. And software, are the applications to run it. Networks at the university. Do we have networks? Of course, Hunter, we have networks. We have all the networks. When we log into on campus, we use their Wi-Fi. That's their communications network, right? The university has databases, a number of databases. What kind of databases they have? They have student databases, they have faculty databases, they have employee databases, they have financial aid databases, they have parking databases, they have housing databases, they have all their healthcare databases, and then there's services, people that work for IT that develop their information services. They're going to manage security and the risk, and they're going to manage their data. That is IT infrastructure. So the IT infrastructures they used to have in the evolution of it is they used to have standalone mainframes that all the hardware was on premise. What does it mean? That the university bought these big computers just to hold. They took care of the email. They took care of it. They stored all of this on campus. And they used what they called mainframes or dumb terminals. They were terminals that they were like computer screens, you could think about it, that talked to the mainframe. And then basically, then there was personal computers that you can think about it is like when you had that lab that we were in, those are all those personal computers. And then what you can do is, it says local area networks. If we had a printer in that lab, we could network all the computers in the lab, Hunter, and that would be local. Local means that it's in your vicinity. Local. And then there was enterprise computing that says, you know what? Let's think about software that companies can sell to the enterprise. What's a definition of the enterprise, Hunter? Is just a large organization. What is an enterprise that me and you know? Is the university. That's an enterprise, right? That we can think about it. And cloud computing that we can think about is rather than the enterprise, then using possibly the hardware of the university. What they do is they can rent out all of the IT infrastructure. It's like renting it. And renting it how, Hunter? Pay as you go. Pay is what you need. So a very small college, let's say of 1,500 students, they're going to use less resources than a university that has 15,000 units versus a state university that maybe has 50,000 students. You agree with me? So every university, even we can think about it, does what? They can use as much computing power as they need. You with me, Hunter?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so now it's coming back to you. So what are the characteristics of the cloud computing? Is that it's going to enable organizations to be what? On demand whenever they want it, and they can decide what they need. They can work with other companies, right, to help them, but it's the whole key is on demand. Just like when you're using, when you stream and see any videos or any movies, right? when you have to go to a movie theater, it's not, it basically you have to go when the show is playing, right? When that movie is playing, that's the time you get a ticket and you go physically to what? A movie theater. But now what can you do? Netflix, basically, you can have what? You can stream on demand, right? When you want to watch a movie, Hunter, 3:00 in the morning, right? It's on demand. You can think about it. You almost can think about it. That's cloud, right? It's on demand. So in essence here, what it's going to provide you is what they call fault tolerance. What does it mean, fault tolerance? That it's going to say, if something breaks down, I'm going to basically create a situation in which I can have backup. And basically, if somebody goes in and by mistake, my hard drive gets corrupted, redundancy means maybe I have another hard drive somewhere else in cloud computing. And what does it mean that it makes it easy to scale up? If the university decides to take on some more campuses and they say, you know what, we want to go maybe to the Bahamas and have a program, and maybe we want to have a program maybe in Costa Rica, and maybe we want to have another program in Virgin Islands, they can scale up and we can get more resources. Later on, you know what, Hunter, you're the president of the university, I'm your IT consultant, and I say, you know what, Hunter, Mr. Carver, I think we should get rid of those programs. And then you're going to say, but Dr. Rush, what are we going to do? We committed on all that hardware, and what can I say? We can scale down. And what can I do? We on demand, we can say we want less resources. You got it? So in that case, it's going to be what they have here is you're going to pull computing resources together so you can have what they call server farms. What does it mean? It's not a farm with cows and chickens, but rather they're basically these big data centers that they have a number of computers there. And a number of those computers there, they can even put within one computer, it looks like maybe 10 computers within it. That's virtualization. And you see these are just the beginning of what they call these server farms. So every one of these racks here could be then, they could have thousands and thousands of computers here. We don't have to buy that. We don't have to have a room that looks like that. Guess what? If we had a room like that at the university, what's the problem with that, Hunter? I have to hire an entire staff to take care of it. And what happens in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years? Do you think that these computers will start to be old-fashioned? And they basically, we want to buy some new ones. What are we going to do with all this hardware? A problem. So what I can do is I can basically just rent maybe even a rack here. See this one? And say that's going to be our spot. Or I don't even care where they have it. And I can have those services. So basically, if you think about this is how it looks, is I have to have all these server farms, and where are they located? How do I gain access it? Through the internet? You know that, right? How did you get on this call today? You had to have internet access, right? You got internet access. And Zoom, let's say here, Zoom could have some space on Google. Do we know where it is? No. Do we care where it is? No. Zoom then has cloud computing, and then it is. So then basically you can have a bunch of people here gaining access through these farms, and Google has a farm that we can then rent from. We can rent from Amazon. We can rent from Microsoft. And guess what? Maybe if we want to be secure, maybe we'll do part of our work from Google and part of our work for Amazon. Because if Google has issues, then Amazon probably will not as well. So that is where I'm going. And so what I have is I have different types of clouds. What does it mean? Depending on what we end up doing, we can decide on a public cloud, a private cloud, a hybrid cloud, a multiple cloud, vertical cloud. And then we ask ourselves, who cares? Basically, a public cloud means that I'm going to be sharing my data with other companies. But guess what? Public cloud does not mean that it's not password protected. Public cloud does not mean that it's not safe. When you get your Gmail, how much did you pay for Gmail, Hunter?
It's free.
Free, right? You're in a public cloud somewhere, and most likely nobody's going to hack into your email account, right? So this is public, right? You have a password. I don't have your password, right? So this is public. A private cloud could be, we could be a government. And we say, you know what? Everybody's trying to get into, let's say now the United States, because of, let's say, all of its enemies or even its friends maybe want to get into that, and they have to have it super, super secure. Or a super bank here that doesn't want to have it, they'll have what they have, a private cloud. What does it mean? They have extra precautions over and beyond what we need. That's called a private cloud. And a hybrid cloud could be, Hunter, you know what? Part of our information is important, but if somebody got a hold of it, right? Like if somebody got a hold of all our PowerPoints, I really wouldn't care. Have that in the public arena, but if it's super, super, our military plans for attacking, right? I want that to be in our private. So that's a hybrid. I could do multiple clouds. Give me multiple positions. Give me some in Virginia. I don't want the cloud to be based in China. I don't want the cloud to be based in the Middle East. Maybe it's okay. I want East Coast, West Coast. These are multiple clouds. Vertical clouds could be in one industry. So look at this one where you see public clouds, private clouds, hybrid clouds. You see the idea. Here's my Google public cloud. Here's my Amazon public cloud. I could have my Microsoft public cloud. And then these are even put another firewall here. Could be added additional security, and the servers may be in a separate room in a separate location. And we talk about it, and then I have services. What does it mean, services? That vendor like Microsoft, that vendor like Google, that vendor like Amazon provides services. What does it mean? It provides infrastructure as a service. What does that mean? Infrastructure, think about it as hardware. Put in your notes there. These are notes that I have from our PowerPoint slides that I have shared with you. But the infrastructure of a service means that Google or Amazon or Microsoft will allow us to rent hardware. Will allow us, and we can say in our hardware, guess what? We want Windows software, and we want our infrastructure. We want to have 128 gig, and we want to have 100 terabytes of storage. We can rent that as infrastructure. Platform, if we had software developers, they could develop their software not on their own machines, on machines that we rented for them. Software, we know software all the time, right? My Zoom, my Gmail, my Microsoft Office, all that is what? I'm using it as software as a service. The university bought a subscription to Zoom, right? Software as a service. And functions as a service could be, if I were in accounting, marketing, I could have functions. And then you can see comparison of on-premise. What does it mean on-premise? It means the university stored everything on their campus. Some maybe banks or something say to themselves, you know what? I want to store even some of this on our premise. But the infrastructure, that's what? Cloud. Platform, that's cloud. Software is cloud. But on premise, I could then have my data, my applications, my storage. I could have it. Part of our hardware and so forth, managing it, some of that we have what? On premise. That computer lab is what? On premise, right? If you said, if a question was to you, Hunter, what's on premise at the university? One place you know in the university, because you can see it with your own eyes, is when you went into the computer lab, right? The library, does the library have any computers? Yeah. Are they storing software on it? Yeah, that's on premise. Another word for that, Hunter, is local. Sometimes they'll say local. So put in your notes here, on premise, another one is local. It's local to me. And then they have here platform as a service. What are the advantages? My developers then can run those software solutions on a cloud without what, Hunter? We don't have to lay out all the cash to buy all that hardware and software. And what can we do? On demand. That's the key. It's really a busy season for my software developers, right, Hunter? We may be from January to June really doing our work. And then guess what? July, August, and September, you're going to give them what? Vacation. You give them vacation. Are we having less demand? Sure we are. And operating features, guess what? If it gets upgraded, you want to do the upgrades? You want to hire people to do upgrades? I don't, you don't. We're busy doing our own business. Let the vendor, Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, you know that they probably let them take care of the upgrades. So there's a lot of advantages to that geographically. Guess what? Geographically, that's why we got a whole group of people. They're really good. I heard that in India, they have great software developers and they're not expensive. So guess what? We can geographically, we can get our development teams and they can work on their software development projects. And basically throughout the world. And if we wanted to be really quick, we could even get, maybe have the servers in Asia. And what? That initial and ongoing costs can be reduced by what? By using infrastructure services from what? A single vendor. Or we can do multiple vendors. But guess what? Me and you, Hunter, we're not into the IT business, right? You want to be, Hunter, what was your project is going to be what? What was your proposal that I accepted?
Marketing.
Marketing. You want to deal with marketing services, right? Do you want your team, and let's say we really grow and we get we'll have a number of agencies throughout the country or throughout the world. We want to deal with our marketing, right? We don't want to bother with, oh, Dr. Rush, we need new hardware to buy. Oh, Dr. Rush, we need software updates. Oh, Dr. Rush, we need more RAM. Oh, Dr. Rush, we need more hard drives. And what would I tell you, Hunter? I don't want to be in that business. Let's do what? Let's do cloud computing. Is that getting more into your mind now? When somebody asks you cloud computing, think about on demand. And you're outsourcing, you know the word outsourcing, honey? You're basically giving another vendor to take care of all those needs for you. We don't want to do it on premise. But if we were going to be a security firm, right, or we're in certain banks, maybe in the banks, the bank would say, you know what, we're big enough, we'll hire our own IT staff and they'll take care of some of those things in New York City or something. So basically, you can think of the benefits. It can basically save us money. And it can also be what I think is number 3 is flexibility. We're small. Guess what? In Hunter, in the beginning, we're going to have 0 clients. And let's say, hey, you got some good marketing people in your group here. Hey, Dr. Rush, we have thousands of clients. So we can be flexible. We can get more. And then you know what, at the end you say, you tell me, Hunter, I got some other businesses and I just want to work part-time on this. So let's just have elite customers I want to delete with. So what can we do? We can downscale, right? And we can be flexible. So, but what? All the time there's what? There is what? Benefits, and guess what there are, Hunter? Risks. I am telling someone else to do cloud computing. I am telling someone else that we have to be on the internet. Once I get on the internet, what's the problem, Hunter? Is I'm more susceptible to what? Hacking. If we basically had our computer and just worked on a computer and didn't get onto the network, we are more safe. You can understand that, Hunter? Nobody can get into my computer
I
unless
have
they
a question.
Yes.
So if it's cheaper to use cloud computing, don't you think it would be more expensive though if we use if we're pouring money into AI through cloud computing, do you think it's more expensive technically to then use cloud computing?
Well, it's together.
Yeah.
I'm using AI, and beautiful, Brennan. It's almost a way in which we're going to talk about is the tendency up to now is, have you ever heard of those AI data centers that they're starting
Yeah,
to build?
AWS. Yeah.
AWS is having AI centers. NVIDIA, have you ever heard of NVIDIA? NVIDIA makes all those chips for AI. They're spending billions of dollars creating these data centers. But guess what? It is also part of cloud.
They all need each other.
Cloud is just the way I'm going to do it. Cloud means I'm going over the internet to go to a vendor, right? And to get services.
Right.
Think about it. You use the cloud every day, right? If you're going to go to your Gmail, right? You're using cloud. If you're going to go to your Instagram, how do you get to Instagram? You're going through the cloud. AI is also being done through the cloud. Cloud is just basically using the internet to get my services done, to get my work done. You understand? AI is another application you can see that we're going to be using. So for ChatGPT, how do you use ChatGPT? You go over the internet versus there's one thing that you did remember when we dialed 1-800-CHAT-GPT? We went over the phone lines through that, right? But in most part, we're going over the internet on it. So AI is doing it. There's something, and that's great, and I'll go over it with you, Brennan, there's something called open claw, like claw that you have like a claw, like a lobster claw.
Right.
That is creating agents, AI agents, but what their advantage is they say, we want it local. And what does it mean, local, Brennan?
On the actual device.
Yes. So let's say you have to do an agent. What's your major, Brennan?
Finance.
Finance. They tell you in finance, we want you to do some agents. And what's the difference between an agent and a regular generative AI that we need? A generative AI, of course, Brennan, you used ChatGPT before, right?
Right.
What is ChatGPT? You put in a prompt, I want some information, and what does it do? Come back to you, right?
Right.
It's just basically coming back and forth. An agent, actually, you program it to do something for you. Go through these sites, and at the end, in the beginning of every day, summarize all these sites and bring it back to me every morning. Or go through these client lists of these stocks that I recommended and tell me what the trends are. Should we buy, sell, or whatever? You're giving it a task to do and come back to me. It's like you're giving it to your intern. Brennan. Go do
Gotcha.
this for me every time. That's an agent. Now they have and that's done where? You can develop it through what? Through the cloud. Another word for cloud, just substitute internet.
Right.
But now they have something called open, meaning open source Claude that they just came up with. And it's like gotten the biggest adoption. And what are they doing? Saying, guess what? You do the agent locally. Not, and why is that nice? And you know what, Brennan? Don't even use your own computer. Buy a little mini Mac and do it there, because it's now a little bit on, when we think about it, on the rough side, and we don't want to we're worried about security. Work through that agent, and every morning you'll look at it and it'll give you it will do what you want.
Gotcha.
Locally. So there's always going to be trade-offs on it. But think about AI itself traditionally has always been what? Through the cloud. And guess what? One of the new products that Amazon is doing, Google is doing, Microsoft is doing, is giving you the ability to use their heavy-duty computers to run all these different models. Because just think about it. Think about all that big data from the stock market. It's not all those that are publicly traded, right, Brennan? But
Right.
what if I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to do it? When did the numbers change? Not even less than blink your eyes, and then it can be changed millions of times, right? If I want to do any predictions, I'm going to have what? Really big computers that have what? A lot of RAM, a lot of storage space, and really fast CPUs and GPUs.
Right.
In order to do that, we're not going to buy it. It'd be silly for us to buy in those huge quantities. We couldn't afford it. And guess what? Let Microsoft, let Amazon, they'll have, because what are they on scale? They can do this business because they're going to have billions of customers, right? So by economies of scale, it'll cost them less than me and you buying, millions of dollars of hardware.
Right.
And guess what, Brennan? That's not our business. Our business is in finance. So that's why there's a trend. I'm going to have to buy some hardware, right, for all my people to do in their laptops or whatever. But there's some. So that is the idea when I think about the risks. One of the risks then is that it's on the cloud. So one of the people that are afraid of it, of all that, of doing it locally with those agents, is why our University of Miami doesn't like everybody to create agents, my agents of my Outlook, and do things, because what? Maybe my agents can go and do nefarious things. Once I get your credentials, right, I can then basically try to start asking with the agents. I have your engine. Now I have to get into the back end of some kind of financial, all the credit card information. Once I get into the system, it's going to be easier, and have the agents do it. And then what they have, Brennan, is now they have a number of agents calling other agents. So it's like squads of agents. And what they want from humans to do, now that they always say, humans aren't going to be in the loop, that is nonsense. But what it is you're going to have to figure out, where does it make sense to use AI? Where does it make sense to make everybody in your group be more efficient? And then somebody's going to have to supervise and see what those agents are doing. So people, Brennan, you're not going to be doing a lot of the busy work. But you'll be the one, and that person that just knows how to do the busy work, they will be the first to be fired or not hired. But if you can say, hey, I can help and I can think, where does it fit? And I know what the risks are, right? And I know what the benefits are, and I'm going to have to know how to mitigate. You remember we always talked about how do we mitigate and how do we manage our risks?
Right.
And somebody has to come up to us and let us know that this is a possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Did that help?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Excellent. Extra credit for asking such a great question, Brennan. You know what I mean? Because this is really what we're having to face. Okay. So thank you, Hunter, for even bringing that up. I forgot what, I think now you got a feel for what cloud computing is. And Brennan, thank you so much for bringing up such a great question of, is AI different from the cloud? They're in parallel. They work together, but they also can work separately. And a lot of the AI needs to be in the cloud because there's no way, and that there's no way that we can have all those computing resources. And guess what, Brennan? You know that OpenClaw, NVIDIA now just does it for the enterprise, for these big companies and provide services. So they said, you know what, we're going to take OpenClaw, which is like its new operating system, and what do we have to do is make it secure, right, Brennan? Because we just can't, companies can't afford that all their data is going to be out there to everybody. It's already vulnerable. You can make it more vulnerable having these smart agents, and guess what? Blink and they've done a million things. It takes us a whole day to even do 10 little tasks, right, Brennan? They do those 10 tasks before you can blink your eye. So it can be great, but it can also cause damage. And the damage can be much more fatal than even what a person can do on their own. I can break in, me and you can break into a 7-Eleven, right? Physically, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But those can break into a billion 7-Elevens, right?
Yes,
And they don't even have to move, right? And it wasn't us. We can just send out our bots, right? Send out our agents to do that. I'm just making a nefarious kind of thing that we do. Okay, I think we ended up. It was an important, I think, lecture to discuss. And then the next time on Monday, I'm going to go more into those agents and introduce you that the book doesn't even have it. This just came out in January, this OpenClaw. Just look it up, Brennan, and just start reading about it. It's amazing, and there are others that are going to compete with it, but people are amazed that they're doing all these agents will go out, and then what they have now is a social network, like Facebook. They have a social network of agents talking to each other. Can you imagine how creepy that is? That you get a bunch of them talking to each other. Okay, so Isa, do you want to do roll? And stay with me after class if you have any problem. And Aiden, we solved your issue, right? And thanks a lot. It make sure that everybody got the right one. We're on TAC. And then what is it? 8582. We look forward to seeing great projects, right? And thanks for staying with me.
I'm trying to click on the attendance button, but it's bringing me to an error message instead of like the normal.
Okay,
like, quickly.
Isa,
I got you.
can you be so kind? Thank you. Isn't it great to have Isa? We all need each other's help, right? Ava, that's the beauty, huh? We all can get each other's help, have each other's back. That's what I say. That's what I love about this class, right? That we all kind of help each other. Okay, Vivian, do you have issues then with, did you ever get it working?
Yeah, I mostly got it working. I just wanted to stay after and
Okay,
talk to
fine.
you about something with my group.